Hello, today is the 20th of December. It's a Friday. Yes, it's a Friday. I'm covering notes that I wrote today as well as notes that I wrote yesterday on the 19th. So he's gone up to the janitor. He went up to the command deck. He's reprogrammed the service droid to give him therapy. The service droid has suggested that he celebrate becoming captain. And so that's where we sort of started on the 19th. At the suggestion of the service droid, the janitor went to the cafeteria. I'm wondering if that's the best word for that. I put it in quotation marks to revisit. Cafeteria. There were food dispensers in a row, microwave looking vending machines with a digital display, with the ability to create any dish or combination of dishes you could think of, prepared to your specifications. Each one came along with a drinks dispenser, a cup holder with a nozzle over the top of it. He tapped at one of the screens, per the service droid's recommendation, found alcoholic drinks. Scrolled through, having no idea about any of the flavours. He struggled to pick between the seemingly endless list in endless categories. Split by country of origin or primary ingredient, by how popular they were, or rating, by colour. In the end, he chose randomly, jabbing at names as the list scrolled up the display. He sat at a plastic stool in front of an assortment of 37 glasses, flutes, cups, a variation of colours and garnishes spread out across the table in front of him. The infirmary, much like the rest of the ship, was a mid-grey and sparsely furnished. Sparsely? So I didn't want to kind of focus too much on the fact that he'd probably never had alcohol before or done any of this before, and so he totally abuses the drinks, gets totally wasted, wakes up in the infirmary. It's been done to death, I think, so I tried to not really focus too much on it, just kind of get through it. I could just cut it out completely, maybe that'll happen. So he ends up in the infirmary, though it appeared to be situated within a gyroscope. So it's spinning. That's what I'm going for there. Maybe there's a better spinning device that I can use there instead. The service droid is there. How were your celebrations? I don't remember. Then it appears they went well. And so, excuse me. And so from there it kind of leads into him being kind of told what's actually on the ship. So they take a walk around the deck. Your promotion grants access to amenities on board that you might not have been informed of. I haven't been informed of anything. So there's gym, cinema, art supplies like paint, clay, a camera, like a photography suite maybe, a library, sort of digital library, a relaxation suite with reading tablets, music banks. And so go to the 20th, where we're talking about how he settles into life. So he's trying different foods, listening to music, reading books. Starts going to the gym every day. He was in the best shape of his life. Access to all the best foods did little for his tastes, rejecting what he'd read in cookbooks on food theory to be the finest, most exquisite meals for stripped down essentials like basic stuff, chicken breast, broccoli, brown rice. He enjoyed looking after himself, learning all of the theory behind diet, exercise, bodybuilding, conditioning. Found the stress of weightlifting, found the stress that weightlifting put on his body was kind of too much. Enjoyed calisthenics and stretching. So my idea behind that really is I don't want him to be this kind of big, bulking kind of guy. If he's got all the time in the world, he can just walk into a room and get his meals made for him. He's got no excuses to be eating all the protein and spacing it out at regular intervals and doing all that, tracking everything, working out properly, and in theory, he'd really bulk up, and I didn't want him to be like this big hulking kind of monstrosity. I wanted him to kind of be lean and kind of, ripped, toned, quite in good health, but not big, muscly guy. So he replaces an hour on the treadmill with running around the ship. He even scheduled 10Ks and marathons along set routes across multiple decks, trained for them meticulously, designed and fabricated winners' medals and ribbons, so he's able to kind of fabricate things, create things as well. Ironman competitions involving workout stations, a run, a swim, all sorts of things like that. And then with all the other amenities on deck, so nothing beat his favourite songs. The elevator music used throughout the centres, so it's the only real music that he was ever kind of exposed to on a regular basis that was just played naturally in the centres where he was working. He remembered once that there had been an incident and he was sent to a different centre to assist in the cleanup. They had different music in the elevators and he enjoyed it just as much. After much searching of the archives, he uncovered the tracks and synced them up to the ship's computer to play shipwide. So then the catchy, joyful jingles became the soundtrack to everything he did. He found that he wasn't much for reading. He was given multiple recommendations by the service droid, but never seemed to get much further than a few pages. Even audiobooks were no use. He'd start it and just zone out, thinking of other things. Does not sound familiar at all. He would also help out the service droids with their maintenance tasks, learning about the workings of the ship. Before long, he was fixing things himself, tinkering around, exploring the deeper recesses. So he gets to understand how everything works, where everything is. He knows everything forwards, backwards, upside down, inside out. He can fix everything. He knows the ship. And we're assuming that over this period of time, it's quite lengthy, maybe a few years. So he's had the run of the deck for years and years, figuring everything out, understanding how everything works. He reached a plateau with his fitness, with his marathons. His only competition was himself, and he grew tired of working for his next personal best. He looked through the vast libraries of books and music that would never be read. They're going to waste on him. He was always excited at the completion of a repair, one that would test his knowledge and his abilities. Proud of himself, he found that all he truly wanted was to share his accomplishments with someone, anyone. I need company, he said to the service droid. What use is any of this if it's all just for me? I want to share what I've done. Once we arrive, they will be able to access the ship's log. Everything that occurs on board is automatically logged. That's not going to help me though. Perhaps talking to them will help. They're not in any condition to provide much conversation, but couldn't hurt to try engaging with them. And so that's kind of where I'm going next. Is he's going to start kind of like walking through all the bays of all the frozen people, and he'll kind of start developing characters for them. So he doesn't know anything about them, so he'll give them names, he'll give them sort of character traits, likes, dislikes, hobbies, and he'll go down and chat with them and tell them about what he's been up to. And he sort of develops friendships with these people in his mind. So then when he starts to thaw them out and they don't line up with his version of them, they're completely different people. And that's when he starts to get frustrated, and yeah, it takes a sinister turn from that point. So that's where I am just now. And check out DOMAVerse.co.uk for the blogs that I've been doing along with the videos. Check out the little, there's part of a chapter that I wrote about human cargo that will maybe get changed slightly, but check that out on DOMAVerse as well. And I've been talking as well outside of human cargo. I chatted again to Jason Santos, who's the artist on Space Precinct Zero. We're adding shading to all the pages so that we can put all the 4 issues together and release a full collection. So go and check out the 4 issues. They're available in the store on the coffee, which is all linked through domaverse.co.uk, and it's also on Amazon digitally, so go and check out those books. And thanks for watching.